Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. Okay, let's take a deep breath. For those of you who've been following the whirlwind romance and subsequent fallout on Bachelor in Paradise, the air has been thick with anticipation, and frankly, a good deal of heartbreak. We've all been on the edge of our seats, dissecting every glance, every whispered word, every dramatic rose ceremony. And at the epicenter of a particularly tumultuous storm stood Susie Evans, caught between the charming, yet at times bewildering Justin Glaze and the fierce, loyal, and ultimately wounded Lexi Young. We saw it unfold, didn't we? The initial spark between Susie and Justin, a connection that seemed almost too good to be true. Their dates were filled with laughter, their conversations flowed effortlessly, and for a fleeting moment, it felt like paradise was truly living up to its name for them. We, the viewers, invested our hopes, our dreams of a fairy tale ending into their budding romance. We cheered them on, envisioned their future, maybe even picked out their fictional wedding colors. But then, as it so often does in the world of reality television, the cracks began to show. Enter Lexi Young, a force of nature with an undeniable connection to Justin from earlier in the season. Her heart was on her sleeve, her vulnerability raw and real. And as Susie and Justin's connection deepened, Lexi's pain became palpable, radiating through our screens and hitting us right in the feels. We watched, helpless, as her hopes were dashed, her trust betrayed. It was a classic love triangle, amplified by the pressure cooker environment of paradise, and it left a trail of emotional wreckage in its wake. The confrontations were intense, the tears flowed freely, and the arguments echoed through the beach, leaving an undeniable tension in the air. We saw Susie grappling with her feelings, torn between a new connection and the very real hurt she was inadvertently causing. We saw Justin trying to navigate the choppy waters, seemingly caught between two incredible women, and perhaps not always handling it with the grace we wished he would. And we saw Lexi, heartbroken but resilient, trying to pick up the pieces of her shattered expectations. The BIP reunion was supposed to offer some closure, some answers, some healing. We held our breath, hoping for reconciliation, for apologies, for a path forward for all involved. But as Susie Evans herself has now revealed, the aftermath of Paradise has been far from simple, and the emotional scars run deep. In an exclusive and truly candid interview, Susie has finally opened up about where she currently stands with both Justin Glaze and Lexi Young. And friends, this is where it gets tough. This is where the fairy tale shatters and the harsh realities of post-show life come crashing down. Susie, with a raw honesty that's both admirable and heartbreaking, shared that the path to healing, especially with Lexi, has been incredibly challenging. It's been a really tough road, she admitted, her voice tinged with regret and a deep sadness. I truly empathize with Lexi and the pain I caused her. I never intended to hurt anyone, and seeing her heartbreak was genuinely agonizing for me. She went on to explain that while there have been attempts at communication, the wounds are still fresh for Lexi, and a true reconciliation, at least for now, remains elusive. I've reached out, I've tried to apologize sincerely, but I completely understand that healing takes time, and it's not something I can rush for her. Susie shared, her eyes welling up. There's still a lot of hurt there, and I respect her space and her need to process everything. This news, well, perhaps not entirely surprising given the intensity of the BIP drama, still stings. We wanted to believe that time would heal all wounds, that genuine apologies would pave the way for friendship, or at the very least, mutual understanding. To hear that the emotional chasm between Susie and Lexi remains is a sobering reminder that real feelings and real pain don't simply vanish when the cameras stop rolling. And what about Justin, the man at the center of it all? Susie's revelation about her current relationship with him is equally, if not more, poignant. Justin and I, we've talked, she confessed, a melancholy sigh escaping her lips. But it's not what anyone, including us, probably hoped for after the show. She elaborated, explaining that the pressure of Paradise, coupled with the fallout from the love triangle, ultimately proved too much for their connection to withstand in the real world. The spark we had on the beach was real, I won't deny that. But stepping back into reality, away from the bubble, everything felt different. The complexities, the unanswered questions, the hurt that lingered from the situation with Lexi, it all weighed heavily on us. She painted a picture of two people who genuinely tried to make it work, but were ultimately overwhelmed by the circumstances. We've decided that for now, focusing on ourselves and healing individually is the healthiest path forward, Susie concluded, her gaze distant, as if replaying the events in her mind. This, dear readers, is the heartbreaking truth. The fairy tales we often wish for in paradise rarely translate perfectly to real life. The complexities of human emotion, the lasting impact of televised drama, and the inherent challenges of forming relationships under intense scrutiny all contribute to a reality that is often far more messy and far more painful than we'd like to imagine. Susie's honesty is a powerful reminder that behind the captivating narratives and dramatic edits, there are real people with real feelings, navigating the aftermath of choices made under extraordinary circumstances. Our hearts ache for Lexi, still processing her pain. Our hearts ache for Susie, carrying the weight of unintended hurt and a lost connection. And our hearts ache for Justin, who also undoubtedly has his own journey of reflection ahead. As we process this news, let it be a testament to the raw, unfiltered reality of human relationships. Sometimes, even with the best intentions, and even when a connection feels undeniably real, the path forward is not always clear, and the wounds inflicted can take a very long time to heal. We send our love and support to Susie, Lexi,